Good day and hello, besties. My name is Shelby Ashley, and welcome to another post-episode recap of Big Brother 28. This was episode 12, and this was the week 3 live eviction. I'm just starting off by saying, pour one out for my boo, man. My messy bitch. I am going to miss my bitch on this show. Jason was a delight to see. I'm very sad to see him go. But I need these mother to, I need these motherfuckers to get into gear, and I need a power shift at this HOH competition tonight, or else. But before we get there, let's get into it. So, of course, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below as you watch because I love chit-chatting about Big Brother, and I want to know your predictions. Who do you think is going to win HOH? What do you think the HOH will be? And what do you think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to go? Tell me all about it. I want to know everything you think. So please comment down below and let's get into it. So in this episode, as Julie said, tea was served and tea was spilled. And I also laughed at the shot of everybody in the living room and the tea kettle in front of them. And Julie did call it the tea party from hell. So, of course, we start off the episode. Jason is the renom after the veto ceremony, and Kamu renom put Jason on the block after Lyric used the veto she won on herself. And Jason's saying, no one's really talked game to him since the tea party, so he needs to win this blockbuster. Mallory is saying that, she's more nervous if she sits next to Lala rather than if she sits next to Jason. Either way, she would just like to win the blockbuster. And Lala doesn't say anything about wanting to win the blockbuster. So that's why I wanted Lala to leave. I want someone who wears athletic gear to the blockbuster competition, not heels, so I don't know, but that's just me. But we get some words from Drew. Drew is saying that Jason is plan A, but Mallory might be plan B, but he likes Mallory, and she can take shots at the other side, at the icons, at the red corner that he cannot take, so he would like to keep Mallory in the game if he could. Melody says she also wants to save Mallory because she's a comp beast, but she's her comp beast, so she wants her to stick around. Lala, we get a shot from Lala asking Angela basically for some help gathering votes for her if she's the one that stays on the blog, and Taylor's telling Lala, giving her some tips, like don't bring up people's names if you don't have to when you're campaigning and all this stuff. Again, just showing how weak of a social and physical player Lala has been so far. And Taylor is also thinking that she should keep Mallory and Jason because they can actually win comps to help her out, and so far Lala cannot. Kamu and Devins have a chit chat and they are talking about Drew. Drew comes up. And again, like I've been saying, the suspicion for Drew the Druin has been brewing, if you will. But they are not vibing with Drew at all. And they're trying to get this sentiment amongst each other to be the same idea that everybody has. We want everybody on the I don't like Drew train. They mentioned that the way that Drew and Barrett both vote in this vote will be very telling about where they land in the game. They think that their loyalties really lie on the other side and they're just waiting to play them. And they talk about possibly turning on them before Drew and Barrett have a chance to turn on the red corner and the crossovers. So Melody is talking a little bit and she's running this idea of, what if they keep Jason? She says she doesn't really trust him, but he's a good shield and he can win some competitions for them. So she goes around and tries to find some votes to keep Jason, just in case. Say Mallory wins. What if we kept Jason? Just talking about that. She's talking to a couple people about this, and Barrett comes up, and Yash also comes up in this conversation, and they're just talking what if we kept Jason? Yash is on board for this. Lyric walks up, she's on board. And Barrett's kind of thinking about this too, because if he keeps voting people that he likes out, then he's going to have no one left with him if he wants to do anything against Toolshed. And he's at the bottom of the Toolshed Alliance, so he's going to be the one that's picked off. Drew is picturing the Mallory staying idea to the Toolshed Alliance as well, but they are not buying into this, and it's really only drawing more suspicion onto Drew. Like, why is Drew trying to keep her so hard? Especially when Mallory's more of like a Barrett link. So why is Drew stressing this? I feel like Drew is getting a lot of the backlash from him and Barrett playing the middle, and Barrett is getting a little less, but I think they are like a pair. They are like, together no matter where they go. But, Drew leads this conversation, and then they are just talking mad shit about him, and Angela has it out for him so bad. I know. I really feel like if, Angela, D, or Devins win this next HOH, that Drew, you're in danger, girl. You're in danger, girl. Like, it is not okay. Drew and Barrett kind of talk to each other about keeping Jason. Drew is kind of saying that he could be convinced to do it, and Taylor's also talking to Mallory. She says she wants to keep, Jason, and I'm sorry, Taylor's talking to Melody, saying, she wants to keep Jason and Mallory in this game, but it's gonna draw a line in the sand, and honestly, she doesn't really feel like she could vote out Lala. She loves Lala, and like personally, she feels like she can't do that. Melody is rightly clocking that Taylor's vote is the deciding factor of getting any chance to fight against the Icons, and so she's really frustrated at Taylor, flip-flopping a little bit on this vote. There was lots of flip-flopping on this vote, but it did kind of settle down. So going into this blockbuster competition, I was under the assumption that it's do or die for Jason, and also for Mallory as well. Like if Mallory was against Jason, Mallory would have been okay. But I was under the impression that Lala was probably safe no matter what, unfortunately. So we get to the blockbuster competition, and I was rooting so hard for Jason to win this, just to give him another life in the game. But I also was rooting for Mallory. I was basically rooting for anyone but Lala. I did not want Lala to win. The blockbuster competition was called Videotape Tumble. They're like at a video store, and there's a bunch of like VHS tapes. There's a little return shoot. So the point of the game is each person has a tower of VHS tapes in front of them, and they have to return as many tapes as they can, the fastest, at the end of 2 minutes, to their little return thing. And when your tower falls, if your tower falls, then your number is locked. And they are allowed to move the tapes and touch the platforms and all of that. They don't have to do that. So it's kind of like reverse Jenga, but you can use more than one hand. At the very early stages, Lala, she was kind of ahead for like 1 second, and I was like, there's no way. She got 2 before either one of them had 2, and I was like, there's just no chance that this is happening to me right now. But then one of her VHS tapes, I think it fell on the top of her tower, so she was disqualified because her tower fell. Well, not disqualified, but her score was frozen because of that at 2. And that was probably like 30 seconds into the competition, so it wasn't very long into the competition. So Lala was kind of out early in. But then, at certain points, it was like Mallory kicked in to turbo drive. She would just start going a lot faster every once in a while. Jason caught up a few times to her. It was pretty neck and neck a lot of the time, but then Mallory gets that 1 point ahead, and Mallory ultimately wins the blockbuster competition. Whenever, the competition is called, Jason's there's a shot of him just laying on the floor, just like super emotional. You can hear him saying it was right there. But honestly, even if he got that videotape counted, Mallory got it done first. So Mallory still would have won that competition. He would have needed to do like another one to be ahead of her in order to have won that one. It was super close competition. Very clutch win for Mallory. Mallory really needed that win. And at this point, I did believe that it was goodbye to Jason. But I was really hoping for Jason to put it all out there in his speech. Jason is a fighter, and I think anybody that's in the position that he's in right now, if you know you're leaving, what's the harm in just putting it all out there and fighting for your life in that last moment you have? And also, I will mention again, I think it's almost disrespectful to even if you know you're safe, like Mallory and Jason were in some athletic gear, like, and Lala was just dressed up like it's a booth competition. Like I just don't, puts a bad taste in my mouth, just respect the game, just be a part of it. And just, I don't know, it takes like a lot of balls to be the one outlier like that. When, I don't know, it just rubbed me the wrong way. We get the nominees coming down, and then they announce that Mallory was the winner, and the house goes a little crazy. Like, Lyric and Melody are screaming. Barrett kind of looks like he's gonna cry, and everybody's just very, very happy for Mallory and very excited for Mallory. No, and also, it's an easier vote as well because the Jason v. Lala was pretty set in stone at this point. In the last chance eviction, what are they called? They're called the final speeches, voting speeches. I am blanking on what they're normally called, but in the speeches, Lala says nothing, honestly. And then Jason stands up and he's talking about, think who you're taking to jury, think who you're playing this game with. Let me be your shield. Let me be someone that you can use in this game. This season's going to be boring if I leave. And he's really putting it all out there, kind of like how I wanted him to. It's everything I could have asked for him, just like trying to throw that Hail Mary. And it's a shame that the mic was muffled for a lot of it, but I think it was the vest that he put on afterwards. But I respect it so much. And in my notes, I wrote, please, like, just please, can we have an exciting live vote? But one by one, everyone goes in and votes to evict Jason. And while voting, the shout outs weren't near as fun this time around as they have been. And people were hardly waiting for Julie to, like, excuse them after voting. Like, they were definitely interrupting her, and I don't like that. But Drew does correct himself, and he calls her Julie Mrs. Moonves. And not Honey Moonves. Jason, when we cut to right before the votes are read, Jason just looks so sad. And Julie announces by a vote of 12-0, Jason has been evicted from the Big Brother house. And it's just lots of sniffling, lots of hugs. Jason does pick up the kettle off the table. He says, whoever the next target is, better take this kettle, and air them out. And then he also, before he leaves, throws tea bags to the crowd, like, here, everybody gets one. When Jason exits the house, he's really, really excited to see Julie and gives her a really big hug. And I think that was really sweet. I like it when, it must be so jarring to be evicted and then just be live. But, like, I think part of the Big Brother experience, there is one winner. So meeting Julie kind of is like a different chapter in it and stuff. So I like it when people can just be excited to see Julie. But as much as I love, like, an emotional pissed off exit as well. Julie actually has a kettle herself and bangs it and says they're going to spill the tea. And while she's talking to Jason's saying that he gets why he didn't really get any votes. It keeps blood off their hands, even though he thought maybe Lyric might, but Lyric also didn't vote for Rome, so not very surprising there. He said he was doing the pot banging because he wanted to show them that, they can't make a fool of him. He can only make a fool of him, and I like that because that's very, very drag queen of him, very, his performing of it and stuff. Like, I definitely get that. When it comes to his game, he said he was, like, really trying to keep it open. That's why he was, like, trying to, like, do both sides, so no matter what happened. I think they were talking about the red corner and the icons situation that they showed. But he also says, maybe he might have just been playing too hard too fast. He also was asked about why he didn't try to link up with the reality icons when he's a reality icon himself. And he was saying, like, he thought it might be less threatening if he didn't tell them that. And also at that point, he would have been, like, lying to people, not saying that in the first place. So he just thought it wasn't a good idea to tell anybody about it. I think he did end up I guess he must have only told Rome, which Lyric also told Rome that she's a lawyer. So Rome just kind of left the house with a bunch of secrets. Julie does tell him that America does love him, and he was in the top 3 in every BB time capsule vote, which I did not know that, but it kind of makes sense. Like, I did vote for Jason in the first week. I could see he's been very entertaining, especially if he stayed this week. I think he would have been a huge contender for the time capsule power. So I was really nice to see him. He was like welling up at the idea, and it's just nice to see him realize that, like, he's not going to come out to anything as scary as I think he thought he might. Julie asked him like what he learned about Jason, because Jason was here and not Selena, and Jason is saying like Jason is more than he gave himself credit for. He's like smart and messy, and that's okay. And he's just really excited to get to know Jason more after that. We see goodbye messages from Lyric and Kamu. Like, don't know why we had to see one from Kamu. Being a little ass. Look, I'm not really trying to take too many sides here or whatever, but Kamu is illy. Like, I don't like Kamu. Angela, she calls him a messy biatch. I think Angela is someone who could probably separate I know this is a crazy sentence, but I think after this, she's not going to harbor any bad feelings toward Jason. I think that, she's like been post-season before, so I just really liked the tone of her message, and I thought it was pretty lighthearted, even though, it sucks to get voted out, and they've had a big, arc in this house. And then we also get a message from Lala as well. He says it's been amazing, a dream come true, and he will continue being messy and just own it. And that is curtains for our messy bitch, Jason. I thoroughly enjoyed him on this season. When I saw that he was on the cast, it makes sense the way that he's gone out, but he's definitely made a name for himself in the history of Big Brother for sure. And I'm just saying, I need some revenge. I need some vengeance. I need some revenge. I am rooting. Okay, we're manifesting. We're talking about our predictions. We're talking about what we think is going to happen. I am manifesting a Mallory HOH. I need a Mallory HOH so bad. I think that would be a really fun one. I need that side of the house to have power. I don't even want Lyric, because I don't want her to, like, I'm trying to keep my position in this house. I could see her doing that. I think Mallory would just go balls to the wall, Devins D, Angela. Even, like, Devins D, Kamu at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need it so bad. I need Drew to wake the fuck up and realize what his position is. And I just need some opposition. I need some war. I need some back and forth, because all it is, it's just been one way, and I'm so tired of it. So I think that this will be a physical competition. I don't think it'll be endurance, but it would be really cool if it was, because I think this is a really important HOH to win. I think I have heard that Drew and Barrett do not want to go for it. Please, for the dear love of God, realize the position that you're in right now. Like, please, everybody go for this HOH, because I swear to God, the lowest I will settle for is, D, Devins, Angela, one of them winning, and then we have the Drew exposed party. But I swear to God, the longer Devins, everybody knows that Devins has a power. I think in their bones they really know it, and I wish Jason said something about that in his like speech whenever that he was giving. But if I wake up, if these feeds come back on and I get a Chuck or a Haley HOH, I'm in danger, girl. I'm in danger. I'm going to be irritated. So I'm manifesting a Mallory HOH. We are wanting mess. We want drama. We want war. I want these icons to have to campaign against each other. I want this power flushed. And I want fun, Big Brother, because you just lost the main entertainment factor for this season. So bring it to me. I will be back on Sunday talking about everything that happens on the HOH episode. Oh my gosh, please, please, please. I'm just praying to all the BB gods, please. Let the other side of the house win. So if you want to follow along on my journey and see my reaction when I'm either disappointed or ecstatic, tune in on Sunday. And thank you so much for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, comment this video, your predictions for who you think the HOH is gonna be, and I'll see you Sunday. Later!